who is running in the primary to represent Washington State's 4th Congressional District. How you doing?
I'm good. Good. Thanks for having me on.
Let me just we've done the whole cutting the spending thing. We've done all the conservative constitutional bona fides and all that. I want to your husband is a disabled veteran, right?
Yes, correct.
How does it make you feel seeing all of the resources that we're spending on people in the country illegally, some of which are coming from the Department of Veterans Affairs?
Yeah, I mean, it makes me sick as a family who has served and sacrificed greatly for this country. And not only that, had to fight another battle when we came back home just to get my husband the services and resources that he earned. It's absolutely wrong, and it's everything that's wrong with our country right now. You know, me and Scotty are looking around, and we don't even recognize America. And that's absolutely why we decided to get in this fight and stand up and, forge a new way forward for the amazing people in the 4th Congressional District, for the veterans in the 4th Congressional District that deserve so much more in service to their country when they return. So it makes me sick. It's absolutely wrong. And Joe Biden needs to be fired so we can get this country back on track.
But what do we do about Republicans who fold? This is the problem. In 2011, the Republicans said, "What do you want us to do? We only have one half of one branch of government," something Democrats would never complain about. If they held the House of Representatives, they would rule the roost. Then they had the Senate in 2015, and they said, "What do you want us to do? We only have Congress." Then they got the presidency in 2016. So by every one of these Republicans campaigned on border security. And then as soon as they had the power to fund the border wall, they folded. So when Trump says he's got a plan to deport 20 million people who are here illegally, do we really believe that the current Republican leadership has the guts to do it?
Well, you certainly have to wonder, and that's why I'm in this race, because I'm in the race in the 4th Congressional District in Washington State. Dan Newhouse voted to impeach President Trump and was in support of invoking the 25th Amendment. So I sat down with him eye to eye, face to face, and I asked him, why are you doing this? I said, we have a country to save. I said, you are not going to be able to work with President. How can you work with President Trump when you impeached him?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me. And so I got in the race because he didn't have an answer. And, I'm here in the 4th Congressional District. We're a deep, deep red district. We are pro-America. This district loves Trump and knows that we need his policies. Like, he is the last line of defense for us in this country. And we need his policies to secure the border and protect our families here in the 4th District. And we have a congressman who's digging in his heels and saying he's going to be able to work with President Trump after he impeached him and was in favor of invoking the 25th Amendment.
It is amazing how you don't see Democrats. They might eat their own behind the scenes, right? But they don't do this stuff. You don't even see a full-throated Democrat effort to get Bob Menendez or Henry Cuellar to step down. Now, Earl Blumenauer's running out the door after it turns out he's been profiting off the Russian invasion of Ukraine. So he made his money and he's headed for the exits. But I don't see anyone screaming from the left that, "Oh my God, you're making money on this."
Yeah. I know we have some real problems, but that's absolutely why I'm in this race. And the amazing people in the 4th Congressional District encouraged me to get into this race. I have been helping candidates. As you know, I was on your show not too long ago. I'm helping political outsiders, tried and true people from the outside, get into Congress and get into Senate. So I've been helping them across the country. And I realized I have to stand up too. Like, we are at a time where I have to stand up and fight. I'm the only person in this race that has a proven record of working with President Trump who will be able to go deliver results for the amazing people in the 4th Congressional District. And, I even asked this sitting congressman, what are you doing to help the majority? What have you been doing?
Yeah. The website is TiffanySmileyForCongress.com. You know, and look, you've been on this, you know that I'm not sitting here waiting for the mothership of conservative media to shine a light on some of these candidates. I find them and bring them on the air. We had Willie Montague on the other day. We're going to have Laverne Spicer on the other day. Two individuals running, one in Orlando, one in South Florida, just north of Miami, both of whom are black, neither of whom have gotten any national exposure. We do it. We don't wait. Now, whether I'm talking to you or any of the candidates that you've helped, and I've talked to most of the candidates that you've been involved with, because you don't build them. Look, I've said this before and I'll say it again. It's no slam on Fox or anyone else. But, you know, having Dan Crenshaw on one side and AOC on the other side and putting them on a pillar like they're going to do some, you know, some kind of what are those sticks? Pugil sticks. That's not how you build a majority. You build a majority by finding these candidates who are upstarts in places where people are sick of their representation, and you support them. You put them on the air. You let them tell the stories. You ask them the questions. Are you a vote to cut the spending? That sort of thing. That's how you build a majority. You don't build a majority with one member of Congress.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly right. And there's just so much at stake in our country today. And that's what, you know, I told this congressman that impeached Donald Trump. I said, well, you made your decision. You made that choice. And now it's time to move forward so we can deliver results, so we can secure our border, so we can stop the flow of fentanyl coming into our communities here in Washington state, so we can unleash American energy independence and start to decrease gas prices and the cost of goods for families. And also so we can have peace in the Middle East again. So we can decrease global unrest and unrest here in our country, in America. There's just too much at stake to sit back and let status quo or someone who made a decision to impeach the president of the United States as a Republican to skate by. There's just simply too much at stake. I want to know that my husband lost his eyesight serving our country in Iraq. He's completely blind. He's never seen our children's faces. So you can imagine our fire in understanding that this is a republic. This is not anyone's seat. This is how our country gets better, is challenged, and iron sharpens iron. So we want to know that we are leaving our children a country worth losing their eyesight for. And right now we don't have that.
I can't imagine that. I can't imagine what it means to have had sight, to lose it, to have children, to never be able to see your children with your own eyes.
Yep. That's the sacrifice. And it's why we're in this fight. It's why we will win this race, because there's so many amazing patriots in this country, and I believe that with all my heart. I mean, there's millions of amazing patriots in Washington state. I have met them. I have seen them, and I would just encourage anyone that wants to join us in this fight for our future, for our children, for our grandchildren. They can join me at TiffanySmileyForCongress.com. You can chip in. Our family's here for the long run. This is not politics as usual. This is a very crucial time in our political system where we need fighters and we need leaders, and we need to take back the majority in Congress and have a Congress that can work with President Trump to turn this country around and preserve our future and our freedom in this country.
You know what is shocking is the level of hate that is growing just uncontrolled in this country. If there was a single MAGA hat in one of these crowds, the Democrats and the media would be pointing their fingers at Donald Trump. They would be condemning this wholeheartedly, saying this. But now it's just, we have to condemn anti-Semitism. We're just not allowed to point out where it's coming from. You know, they've tried for forever to claim that conservatives and Republicans are racist and bigoted and anti-Semitic, and yet we see this hate for the country and for Jewish people coming from one direction and one direction only, and that is the left.
Yep, they are destroying our country. And if we do not stand up That's what I'm saying. Like, if we do not stand up and get the right people in to work with President Trump to change this, to turn this all around and fight and be a voice, right? And show the country who we truly, show the world who we are, really. We are at that point. I fear for our children's future. It breaks my heart to see what is happening to Jewish students in this country. But again, it just goes to show that we need strong leaders. We're on the brink of needing a new, fresh energy. We need candidates who have the ability to stand up, right, and use their voice and use their platform to fight back against the woke mob, really, the far left that is destroying our country.
Now, your district, I'm looking at the map here.
Yeah.
You sit along the border with Oregon, so to the east, you are to the east of both Portland and Seattle. So
yes.
you're kind of sitting to the due west of some of the most radicalism in this country. Olympia, Tacoma, Seattle, and Portland. I could only imagine how the people in your district feel about what they're seeing in those cities in your state, which I know Portland's Oregon and you're just north of that, but you're straddling the border here. What they're seeing coming out of
right.
Seattle.
Oh, absolutely. And again, we are a deep, deep red district here in Washington State that deserves the representation of the people and deserves to have a leader who will lead the nation right from the 4th Congressional District and show the nation who we are in this district. We have young kids overdosing from fentanyl in our schools in this community. Crime is up. Prices are up. When you go to the grocery, I was at the grocery store a couple months ago and a farmer came up to me and said, I just retired, was hoping to spend time with my grandkids, but he said, Tiffany, I can't keep up with the gas prices. I might have to go get another job. My retirement won't even cover what's happening to me right now. And it just breaks my heart because it doesn't have to be this way. And we are absolutely seeing it here in this district. I'm a mom of 3 young boys who are in the school system. And if we don't stand up and fight, who will? Who will be a voice for our kids when they don't have one? And so it is time. This district is so special to me. It's where I was born and raised as a young farm girl. And it's where me and Scotty came back after his military service to raise our 3 boys. Really amazing people here who deserve a congressman, a congresswoman who will go work with President Trump to secure the border, to stop the invasion at the border, to stop fentanyl from coming into our schools and killing our kids. I mean, it's common sense. And it's time. So I have great hope for our country. I do. I think, when we are backed against a wall, we always emerge better and stronger. And that's the shift that's happening in our country. We need younger, we need energy, we need new leadership to get into the House and get to work. And that's what I'm really excited about in the future.
Well, I think conservatives have to really hold the line with the establishment or what's left of it. Again, I call it the Republican Pez dispenser, that it seems like, we get, whether it was Hastert or Boehner or Ryan, it just seems it's the same piece of candy every time. And every time we pull one out, the next one pops up and looks the same, tastes the same, does the same. So conservatives here cannot just kowtow to the leadership and the establishment. We're not going to get our border secure if conservatives do not hold the line.
Right. And you're certainly not going to get it secure if you're electing a congressman who voted to impeach Trump and invoke the 25th Amendment. What do you think he's going to be able to do? I don't understand. We have to have elected officials who are doing everything they can to make sure that Donald Trump gets elected.
I agree. I have to take my break. The website is TiffanySmileyForCongress.com, TiffanySmileyForCongress.com. Once again, thanks for joining us. We got to get you back over on the Salem News Channel, but I got to take a break here. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, Weinstein 695 Patriot.